Hello, Captains. This is Kent again, and welcome to the flight show. So, you are catching me on a flight. I got hired by some executives to fly into Cancun International from Fort Lauderdale, and we are about to have our descent into Cancun. So I thought you'd want to join me on this little procedure. They're in the back. They're all sleepy. They came out of a big meeting, and we're going down there to kick it. So, we're at 32,000 feet and about to start our descent, so let's just get it going, shall we? As a matter of fact, we're coming on our descent right now, so let me show you. We are going to be going from our current altitude of 32,000 feet to our approach. The star begins at 8,000. So let's go ahead and get this going. What we want to do is now first adjust our altitude to 8,000. 8,000 feet, great. Then we're going to go to our autopilot, and we are going to say altitude select, and we're going to descend at a rate of 2,000 feet per minute. I think that's gentle enough. And then we're going to pull our throttles back so that we maintain a speed of about 250 feet per minute. So let me give it a little more throttle. In fact, so you can see it better, just crank it up just a wee bit. So it should take us about 12 minutes get to our desired altitude. There we are, picking up a little bit of speed, so I'm going to pull back on the throttle a little bit, just a skosh. There we go. Alright. Beautiful weather as we're descending into Cancun. And from the cabin, you see my co-pilot's keeping me together over here, so we'll be anxious to get in. Okay, we're just two knots too high, so let's throttle it back just a wee bit. There we go. Okay, so really there's only thing to do is monitor our systems. Now, I have all of our waypoints here. Let me just go back and show you. This was where we are on our way to. That actually, I have it as 32,000 feet, but really that we knew that we're going to do our top of descent here, so let's just say for now. Where are we about? We're about 27, so I'm just going to ballpark that and just say 23,000. So hit 23,000. Now, all of the altitudes that you have here are the flight restrictions that have already been programmed in. So, the autopilot is taking us through what we needed to do. Here we go, I wanted you to see that. So, there's really nothing to do now except let this thing do what it do. Now, I want to say that VNAV will have it hit those altitude restrictions on point. I have not used the VNAV yet. I've really just been using the vertical speed, but we could see what happens. Nah, let's just keep it as the planned approach that we've already set in. All right. See you when we get to a lower altitude. Okay, I just wanted to update you on our descent. So what our autopilot is doing is, you see how I have my altitude restrictions placed in the flight? You can add those directly. So what you should do is look at whatever you're using to plan your flight. You can look at each waypoint and see what your altitude should be on your approach, and then you put those in manually. So you would hit this and then type whatever that number should be. I'm not going to use it, so I'm just going to hit that and just, let's see, how do I back out of that? Back out. No, I didn't want it to be that. What was that supposed to be? Not 0, I know that much. 14,000, so let me put that back. 14, 1, 2, 3, darn it. 14, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Alright. Yeah, because it thought it was like trying to get down to 0. Oh, yeah, slow down. That was my mistake. But anyway, so what the plane is going to do is it's going to adjust its descent so that it hits these waypoints at those assigned altitudes. And that's what we have here. So arm cap, its descent rate is on. Well, it's going to adjust the descent rate so that you hit those altitudes, which I totally screwed up because I told it to go to 0 and it wanted to be 0 before that altitude. My mistake, I apologize. But anyway, so now that that plane is slowing, because I dropped the throttles, let me give it some more throttle. So, excuse me, getting over a cold. Just don't want it to slow down too much. I'd really just like to keep it almost like where it is. That's good. Alright, so it'll linger about here for 14,000 feet until it gets to that waypoint, and then it'll continue on its descent as we are approaching the coast of Mexico. So it's actually going, aside from that little slip up, descent and our approach is doing pretty well. Yeah, this is a nice little aircraft. I got some nice comments on it for the flight that I did, and someone said, well, can you do a tutorial? And I haven't had really time to study it to the point that I'd be prepared to do a tutorial, but I thought I'd do, you know, an approach and just let you check out, you know, how these systems work as I'm shooting the approach. So it's, you know, it's pretty enjoyable. As I've mentioned in the previous, I'm going to give it a little more throttle because I don't want to be that slow just yet. Okay. It's an enjoyable plane to fly. That's the, you know, what I can say. Okay, everything's looking good. Now, someone also mentioned, well, this is, you know, not necessarily, this is a plane that's not necessarily their cup of tea, but you all have been making some really, you know, nice comments about, you know, you enjoying the channel. That I'm not, you know, I'm not one of those people that takes things too seriously. I, you know, try to show the fun aspect of this. Oh, and as you can see, now that we've passed our, we're approaching rather our Apmus waypoint, we're back on our descent, such that we can. Oh, we got a little pause going on here. This happens from time to time on an approach. It'll undo itself. Yeah, there we go. So it's now adjusting its descent so that we can reach our next waypoint. So totally cool. That being said, the channel really wasn't starting out to be like that channel that's just going to make people who are enthusiasts who have been doing this for 20 years and teach them things that are new. And that really wasn't my target audience. My target audience were those that were new to Flight Simulator, or, you know, just they fly it, they've been doing it a while, they've, you know, done it for years, but just necessarily haven't done it at the study level, so that maybe, you know, one, you can learn some things if you're new to Flight Simulator, or two, you're an enthusiast, but maybe you wanted some strategies on how to take your thing to the next level. I love flight simulating, and I want to know what to add, how to add it, when I should add it. And if you look at the videos, that's really what I talk about. Like I have a video that says the logic in how you should choose sceneries. Like, do you get regional sceneries? How do I know which airports to buy first? Do I buy airports or do I buy regional scenery? I lay out the logic to that. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to check it out. Because, you know, I've made my mistakes with Flight Simulator, and maybe through some of the experiences I can share with you, you won't necessarily have to make the same mistakes yourself. You know, like I'll give you an example. So this Cancun airport that I'm flying into, if I'm going to video a landing or an approach on an airport, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to own the payware version of that airport, because the generic versions aren't necessarily all that exciting to land, or at least it's not for me. But if the focus is reviewing an aircraft, then the airport that I'm flying into doesn't necessarily mean anything, but the overall immersion, it just looks good if... So look at that. It seems that we have now, Active Sky has upped our weather, and it's a little murky. Some really moist air that's causing it to have, what's the word I'm looking for? Not an overcast, but haze. Yeah, a hazy, hazy approach. But that's fine. We're ready for it. No problem. But anyway, and actually, we're approaching 10,000 feet, so I need to drop this speed pretty quickly. So I just pulled out our speed brake so that we'll be under... There we go. Just had to make sure we're under 250 knots as we cross 10,000. So that's fine. You gotta keep up with these the throttles, because this plane will get away from you. See how that it's starting to creep up just a little bit? Yeah, you don't pay attention to that. Next thing you know, you're going 280 knots and you're at 9,000 feet. So I'm bringing my throttles back just a little bit. Great. Now soon we're going to be making a right turn to 305 degrees. And that is going to set us up for where we're going to eventually be parallel to the runway. So we will be on our downwind leg, and then we will turn for our base, and then onto final. So we're really looking good on our approach. But to my original point, this airport I purchased the other day, and thought, hey. I think I'll do an approach into it. So I want to get my money's worth out of it, so here we are. But why did I choose it? Well, it was on sale, for one thing. And it really looked nice. And I don't think I would have thought of flying into Cancun until I saw the advertisement. I saw it on SimMart. I actually get 99% of my scenery directly from SimMart. I used to use FlightSim.com and their FS store. But I really didn't care for their policy of your download link expires after a certain amount of time and then you have to pay to renew it. I hated that. And SimMart doesn't do that, and it's a very reliable downloading system. So I get most of my SimWare from SimMart, unless I go directly to a third party, a developer. Like I bought my my Atlanta International was from why is the name escaping me? It'll come to me when I'm not thinking of it. Or perfect example, Flightbeam. My airports that I get from Flightbeam, I do directly with the Flightbeam site, which I hear they're actually changing. See, that almost got above 250. So bringing it back. There we go. Bringing the throttles back a bit. Alright, so now we are running parallel to our airport, of which we should be able to see it in the distance. Let's see. It should be right here. It's hazy, but it's there. Scenery's looking good, I might add. Let's see if we look... Yeah, it's a bit hazy. You can't see it too well. We are coming up on it. Now, notice that you're feeling a little bit of turbulence. I haven't done a review on this yet, but I bought that software that was being advertised on FlightSimWare, Real Turbulence, and so they have regions. There's Real Turbulence Holiday Airports, Real Turbulence Greece, Real Turbulence Oceania, and they did one for free, Africa and Antarctica, and then they did North America. So I bought all of them. So Real Turbulence is supposed to have, whatever the weather effects are, it's supposed to modify that the sim really does react to those weather systems. So if there is turbulence, your plane should feel it. And you know, sometimes a Carenado aircraft are particularly stable, more stable than I think the real aircraft, and so the real turbulence should actually have an effect. And I actually think that this little subtle disturbance that you see in the screen right here is real turbulence doing its thing. It just, you load it and it's just there. There's nothing that you have to do or monitor or setup thing. So just wanted to throw that in there because it's very subtle, but it adds to the immersion. Now we're actually approaching our waypoint ERDAM or ERDAM, and then we will be making a turn towards the south, towards our final, and it should be a little greater than a 45-degree angle, which is kind of ideal what we'd want. So we're looking good. But all this is to say, the Cancun airport saw it on sale. It looked really nice, so I chose it and said, hey, let's throw it out here for a nice approach with our Citation 2. But that's a rationale as me having a flight sim channel. So there's kind of a purpose. I want to fly into places that are visually pleasing and that would interest you. Now, if you're trying to decide on an airport, I lay out the logic. I'll share a little bit of it. If you love general aviation and VFR flying, you really should get regions so that you have stuff to look at while you're flying. If you're into airliners, I'm actually more of the thought of mind. I'm more of the school that you should get airports, because you're going to be flying, cruising altitude. You're really not going to see much in ways of, you're not going to see much in ways of the scenery. So you might as well have places to land and take off of them that look good. So, you kind of need to know what it is that interests you. Okay, so I got to get my navs together. So our ILS is 111.10. So let's get that to 10 and make it active. So that's active. And our course should be 125. So let me get our course going. What did I say? 125. Okay. Alright, 125. So soon I'm going to switch this to nav so that we can capture the ILS. And let's see, where are we on our altitude? We are holding at 2,700 because we should be at 2,000 at our next waypoint. Now I'm going to bring our throttles back a little bit more as soon as we turn onto our final. Actually, we should be at, let's take a look. Go next. 2,000 feet, and then we will be 2,100. Go back previous. Yep, and then 2,300. So excellent. As soon as we turn on the final, I will switch to nav, and then we will go to our ILS. Okay, so we should be turning, as you can see right here. Let me zoom in real fast. Sorry, there we go. So this is our final. So we're going to go gear out. Watch our speed drop like a... Alright, and our glide slope, I believe, right there, so we're doing good. And our landing speed is going to be around 90, maybe 101 actually. So that's with full flaps. So we're just steadily dropping. Don't want to drop too fast. So I'm going to go ahead and arm approach. Okay, sorry, film cut off and I had to start over again. So our V approach needs to be 111 knots, so at 20 degrees of flap. So I'm going ahead and giving us 20 degrees of flap over here. That's 35, we don't want that, no. Here we go. And our gear down. And as you can see, there is the runway in the distance. This is going like 10 times better than I thought it would. Alright. So we just need to reduce our speed a little more. And since this does not have Category 3, I'm going to go ahead and take control of the aircraft. So let's just hurry up and get that out of the way. My aircraft. Alright. Now autopilot's off. Raising the nose a bit to bleed off some speed. Plus we're a little low anyway. Alright, now we're this is our V approach. Seem to be off a little to the right. That's okay.
$500.
Continue. There we go. Now we're intercepting the glide slope again. So we're a little low, but that's okay. Now we can descend in. So, spoilers armed, flaps 20, gear down. So VREF is 107. So I'm going to bring the nose up just a little bit, and that should be bang on at touchdown. Hey, there's always a plane that wants to land right when I get there. You're going to have to wait. Because I don't use ATC. I'm going to have to start using ATC just to spice it up a bit. Alright, here we go. Alright, reversers. Little off center line, but that's okay. Now down to 48. Turn off reversers. And there should be a speed exit coming up right there. Okay, here we go. And we can follow that off. It's a little, as I said, when I try to hit the brakes, it's like really sensitive. You got to hit them exactly at the same time or this thing takes off on you. Okay. And now that we have landed, let's take a look at that landing. So I thought a good view to look at it might be here from the tower. See it from an external point of view as to how well we landed. Well, like I said, we were a little over to the right, but as you can see, we're correcting. Should be a gentle touchdown. Didn't do any ballooning. We just kind of waited for the speed to bleed off. Oh, beautiful. Now that was nice. Let's catch that from just another angle, shall we? Much more fun with the airport in the background, wouldn't you say? Wow. Very nice reverser animations for Carenado. Got to give it to him. And one last view from the fuselage, as though we were all passengers. Oh yeah, all the executives have just woke up, we touched down, they know it's about to get rocking and partying in Cancun, so I know they're excited. Excellent. Okay, so we just need to park this bad boy. And so general aviation is right down this way. So why don't we just go ahead and get general aviation. Let's see here. Let's say ramp 4. Universal aviation. There we go. So we'll just bring it in. Clean up the aircraft. Let's see here. Turn off the landing lights. Alright. Actually, a pretty smooth approach and landing, if I say so myself. Came in a little low, but we corrected for that. Happy. And this Cancun airport is not bad for the price. I forget what I paid for it. Actually, I think I have it already pulled up. Let me look down here. Yeah, on sale, expires on the 7th of July. It's on sale for $15.99. Maybe you want to pick this one up so you can have one of your holiday spots. Normally I would come into this airport in an airliner, but like I said, wanted to do a little approach with the general aviation or business jet class. I actually enjoyed it. This was bad. I mean, I flew the whole thing, but I filmed the approach with you. And if you're thinking about a business jet, this is a fun one to fly. Now, I also enjoy flying the F50, the tri-jet. It's much bigger, but it's fun too. I think I'm going to be posting something on that too. But also, there are just so many ideas that I have for videos and so many requests. I try to get to them all, and if I don't do it this summer, I'm not going to get it done. So I'm going to try in earnest to get some more videos done, because it's been a busy summer anyway, but I have a week off before things start to pick up again. So we'll see what I can get up. You know, and they say for being in a YouTube channel, you should always post something the same time every week. Oh my gosh, it takes a commitment. It takes a really committed level, ability to do that. I want to get there, but it's just been rough. It's busy. It's work. This is an expensive hobby, much less, life. So anyway, enough of that. Just enjoying a nice Friday evening is when I'm recording. And I'll have this up hopefully later this evening. And again, I hope you enjoy it. All right, we're almost to where we're supposed to be. Ah, there's our guy right there. Right next to another business jet at that. All right, we're gonna turn in. Just a second. Turn. Keep our eye on the ball. I'll come into view in just a second. Oh wow, look at the static aircraft. It has chocks on there. Really nice. Bring it over. Okay. And we're going to... Oh, no. Stop. Alright. Brakes. Thank you very much. Cut engines. So we're going to have to move over here. Got those cut. Then come over here. Move up a little. Let's see. I need to move up a little. Get those cut. And then we will turn on. Hold on here. We gotta turn on our... Where is it? Here we go. No, that ain't it. Trying to find our thing for our... Oh well, just do it up here. Where is it? Oh my gosh. I was just trying to... oh, I know where it is. It's hidden behind here. You didn't see it, but it was hidden behind my control for the replay. So let's see here. Passenger doors can now open. And we will let you get your baggage. Well, I really want to thank you for tuning in for this approach. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the S550 Citation 2 business jet. We did an approach into Cancun, Mexico. Thank you for all you guys that have been leaving the positive comments. I really do appreciate it. All I can tell you is I will continue to try to bring some good content, and I really hope you've enjoyed today's flight, much less the material that I've been posting. If there is an approach or a flight that you'd be interested to see at a particular airport, leave a comment, let me know. And I look forward to seeing you all in the virtual skies.